don't need a campfire to make these chocolate chip s'mores pizookie. I mean, you can if you want to, but I make mine right here in the kitchen, and it still comes out gooey, toasty, and tastes like it's the real s'mores. Let me show you how. Here's everything you need. I bet you already have most of it in your kitchen. We'll need flour, baking soda, and salt, brown sugar, granulated sugar, butter, an egg, chocolate chips, and of course, mini marshmallows. Now for browning the butter. You know, that sounds like such a fancy term, doesn't it? But it's really simple and it takes a little bit of time. But believe me, it's worth it. Browning the butter just means that we're cooking it past the melt. The milk solids that drop to the bottom of the skillet begin to brown. And that's browning the butter. Instead of a plain one note melt butter flavor, you end up with something that's deep and nutty and kind of has a little bit of a caramel taste to it. And that flavor is going to sit underneath in this bazooki and it is going to be delicious. So, we're going to melt the butter over low to medium heat. Now, if this is your first time browning butter, there's no shame in going low and slow just to get used to it. So the butter melts, then it's going to foam up, and then it's going to go quiet. And that's really when the magic happens. It goes from yellow to golden to a deep amber color. And those little brown flecks that we see at the bottom of the skillet, well, that's our browned butter. It smells nutty and almost like toasted popcorn. Since we're using a cast iron skillet today, we're going to pull it off as soon as it starts getting a light amber color. Now remember, cast iron retains its heat, so it's going to continue cooking. That's why we're going to pull it off when it's a light amber color. We're going to let it cool for about 5 to 10 minutes. Now, while the butter is cooling, let's pull all our rest of our ingredients together. I like to kind of mix the flour, the baking soda, and the salt together. And then we're going to set that aside. Okay, this looks beautiful. See all those nice little brown flecks at the bottom? That's our golden browned butter. It's going to taste really delicious at the end. We're whisking together our brown sugar and our granulated sugar. And these two sugars, well, they do two different jobs. Our brown sugar has molasses in it, so it adds moisture, a little more of that caramel flavor, and it gives us that soft and chewy texture. The granulated sugar, on the other hand, provides structure and spread. That's what helps keep that crisp golden edge around the cookie. So both of these sugars working together is beautiful. It's going to have a crisp outside and a soft, chewy middle. I like to pre-beat my eggs in a separate bowl before adding, rather than just cracking it and going straight into the batter. Beating it first breaks it up evenly so it blends into that butter and sugar smoothly instead of just leaving those little streaks of egg white running through the dough. Now, once that's all mixed in, we're going to add vanilla. Yep, that looks just about right. And we're going to mix well. Now we're adding our dry ingredients, our flour and our baking soda and our salt. Now, let's stir this together, but remember to slow down. We only want to mix it until the flour is no longer visible. The second you stop seeing the streaks of flour, stop stirring. Overmixing develops the gluten too much, and that's what gives us tough, dense cookies instead of a nice, soft one. And now, one of the stars of the show, the chocolate chips. And we're going to fold those into the mixture and spread the dough evenly in the bottom of the skillet. Isn't it nice mixing it all up into just the skillet? It alleviates a lot of dirty dishes. Now, I love making things in the cast iron skillet. It's not just for how it looks, but I love the rustic, straightforward from the oven to the table presentation. Cast iron holds and distributes its heat incredibly even, so you don't need to get those hot spots where there's burnt edges and the center's not done. It retains the heat really well, which means this Pizookie is going to be cooked thoroughly and evenly throughout. So it's all put together. Let's put this in a 350-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. Keep watching it until the edges are golden. That's our cue that we want to pull it out. Now, as I've said before, cast iron really retains the heat. And that cookie, even though it's out of the oven, it's going to continue to cook. So we need to pull the pan out just a little early so the center's not fully done. Don't worry, it will be perfect by the end. As soon as it comes out, we're gonna sprinkle it with another layer of chocolate chips. I mean, really, can you have too much chocolate? And we're gonna let the chocolate chips sit there for just a second and let the cooked dough kind of melt them. And then I'll gently spread them around with the spatula. And now for the s'mores moment that we've all been waiting for. We're gonna spread our mini marshmallows on top of the melted chocolate. And I've switched my oven from bake to broil. Now we'll put the Pizookie in the oven so the marshmallows can toast. Don't walk away because this goes really fast. We're going to watch for those marshmallows to become golden. It only usually takes about a minute or two. And there it is, straight out of the oven, golden toasted marshmallows on top, melted chocolate underneath that, and that soft, gooey brown butter cookie. Woo! It looks so good. And I can't even begin to tell you how good it smells in this kitchen. Let's scoop it out into a bowl. And just for a little extra, we like to top it with vanilla ice cream. Isn't that pretty how it starts melting right into the warm cookie? This is everything I love about s'mores and more. Made in my own kitchen, no campfire required. It's easy, delicious. I hope you enjoy this recipe. I know as much as I'm going to enjoy this next bite. And don't forget to come back and see us again at Everyday Eats with Ellen. Hit like and subscribe, please. And check out my other videos, like how to make 4 treats out of one dough or my cinnamon roll one. And I'll see you next time here at Everyday Eats with Ellen.